Today, we're doing something really practical. We're going to talk about upgrading your mental operating system. We're going to unpack 4 powerful tools that can completely change your inner playbook. You know that feeling, right? Where you feel like you're stuck in some kind of mental loop, just arguing with yourself or battling your own thoughts. It's just exhausting, feeling like your own mind is working against you. Well, if you've ever felt that way, you are definitely not alone. It's a deeply human thing. But here's the good news. You don't have to stay stuck there. We're going to dive into a totally new playbook for managing that inner world of yours. Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to see how you can become the protagonist of your own story. Then we'll talk about how to get from that blah feeling into a state of flow. After that, we'll explore the idea of embracing your imperfections. And finally, we'll learn to decode our setbacks to become more resilient. First up is a really powerful idea called narrative reframing. The whole concept here is to stop seeing yourself as a victim of your circumstances and instead start seeing yourself as the author of your own life story. Just look at the difference here. It seems like a tiny change in words, but it's a massive mental shift. The old way, I am anxious, makes the feeling your entire identity. But the new way, I am noticing anxiety's influence. See that? It creates distance. You're not the anxiety. You're the one watching it try to influence your story. Now, there's a formal term for this. It's called externalization, and it's at the heart of narrative therapy. The whole goal is just to create this little bit of psychological space between you and your problems. So anxiety, self-doubt, anger, they aren't you. They're just things you have to deal with, separate things. And this is so crucial because when a problem is just a plot point in your story and not some fundamental flaw in your character, you get your power back. You, the protagonist, get to decide what happens next. You get to write the very next chapter. All right, let's jump to our second tool. This one addresses a feeling that so many of us know, but we can't quite put a finger on it. It's that feeling of just muddling through, you know? The term for it is languishing. I love this description. It's the middle child of mental health. It's not the deep pain of depression, but it's definitely not flourishing either. It's that real feeling of aimlessness, that blah. And this chart shows you exactly where languishing lives. You've got depression on one end, and you've got flourishing on the other. Languishing is that big valley right in between. You know, just giving the state a name is incredibly powerful. It validates that you're not broken just because you don't feel happy all the time. So, what's the fix? What's the antidote? It's probably not what you think. It isn't about chasing happiness. It's about chasing flow. Flow is that amazing state where you are completely absorbed in a single challenging task. It could be anything. Solving a hard puzzle, getting lost in a creative project, even playing a sport. It's all about engagement, not emotion. Our third tool is absolutely beautiful. It comes from Japanese aesthetics, and it offers a powerful antidote to one of our most common mental battles, perfectionism. Think about it. Most of us are taught this model of self-improvement, which basically implies that we're broken and need fixing. But the Wabi-Sabi mindset offers a totally different approach, self-evolution. This is the idea that our history, mistakes, and hardships included can be integrated into who we are becoming. Psychologically speaking, this translates to radical acceptance, and the most perfect metaphor for this is kintsugi. It's this stunning Japanese art of mending broken pottery, not by hiding the cracks, but by highlighting them with gold. The breaks actually become a celebrated part of the object's story and beauty. This quote just nails it. Your so-called cracks, your past failures, the things you might carry shame about, they aren't liabilities. From this point of view, they are the very things that make your story unique, that make you resilient, and that make you beautiful. And that brings us to our fourth and final tool. This one is super practical. It's a framework for how we process failure and adversity that was developed by the psychologist Martin Seligman. It all comes down to what's called your explanatory style, which is just a fancy way of saying, what's the story you tell yourself when something goes wrong? Believe it or not, this one mental habit has a huge impact on your resilience and your overall well-being. See, a pessimistic style tends to filter setbacks through these 3 lenses, the 3 Ps. First, it's personal. This is all my fault. Second, it's pervasive. This one failure is going to ruin every other part of my life. And third, it's permanent. This is how it is now. It's never going to get better. This playbook, it's just a recipe for feeling hopeless. But here's the upgrade. You can consciously
Intentionally flip the script. Instead of making it personal, you can consider external factors. Instead of it being pervasive, make it specific. Okay, this one thing didn't work out. And instead of it being permanent, see it as temporary. This is just a moment in time, not my forever.
So, there you have it. 4 really powerful upgrades for your mental operating system. Let's do a quick recap of how these all fit together into your new toolkit. This table is basically your new cheat sheet. With externalization, you stop identifying as your problem. To fight back against that languishing feeling, you go looking for deep engagement and flow. To beat perfectionism, you adopt a Wabi-Sabi mindset and you honor your cracks. And to build resilience, you train yourself to see any failure as just a specific temporary event. So look, this isn't just some interesting theory. This is a set of actual practical tools you can start using today. So the question I want to leave you with is this. Looking at your own inner world right now, which one of these tools are you going to use first?